Shut up and sit down.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Nerdsplaining Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Da Silva. With me as always, my co-host, Jose Romero.
What up, everybody?
How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Another great nerd week. Actually, had a lot of stuff to talk about.
Dude,
one huge trailer, which
so much stuff.
Obviously we'll get to momentarily.
One after the other. It was so much.
That's
stuff.
a lot of stuff. Yeah. So this is gonna be a busy hour here. We have more or less, I guess. It depends how much Eric talks. Just kidding, man. We want to hear you talk. That's what we're here for, dude.
I am the Nerdsplainer.
Exactly my point. So let's get into it. Let's not waste any time because there's a lot of goodies, man.
Hell yeah.
So where should we start? You know what? Let's start with some Netflix. How's that? Little nerdy nuggets.
Sure.
Netflix. Everybody wins.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Here we have reported by Deadline. I guess Netflix gave us the release date, November 19th or 9th, one of those two. Anyway, for Cowboy Bebop live action adaptation.
Hell yeah.
Of course, the anime we all know and grown to love. They drop a lot of pictures and stuff, which is kind interesting. This is one of the ones that it makes sense to translate into live action, right? Because the premise is good, right? It's a futuristic kind of bounty hunters thing, so which is cool.
Crime noir bounty hunter, absolutely. What an amazing soundtrack! One of the best soundtracks you're ever gonna hear.
Yeah, exactly. So and the pictures look pretty good. I'm looking through some of them. I mean, this guy looks pretty ripped. Jong Cho, I think, plays the main guy and all that. So I mean, I guess I wasn't like a huge. I mean, I like the anime. I'm not a huge fan of it. I mean, maybe more than I am. I don't know. You tell me.
A little bit.
It's a great premise, though.
Yeah.
You know,
the premise is very simple. In the future, we have space travel. We've colonized planets, and there's like orbital space station cities and the whole thing. And there are bounty hunters in the future, and there's so much crime in the future that the bounty hunters literally have like their own weekly or daily TV show or like a YouTube channel. They get streamed, and bounty hunters watch it, and they talk about like, hey, guess what? Look at the new bounties. It's all like very much like what we do for comic books. This channel does for criminals on the run, and every bounty hunter is like, oh man, if we can get that, we can make some money. So it's just a quest of different bounty hunters going for up to different criminals who are out on the run or on the lam. And there's a crew that comes together, which there is the femme fatale. There's the old grizzled cop who's seen too much. And there's a mysterious badass who fights like Bruce Lee, but is almost like a crime noir kind of like hero. And they have a kid hacker and a mysterious little dog that seems to be very important, but nobody knows why. And this is the basic premise of the show. And then as you go through the whole series, you'll get the whole picture, and you'll get everyone's backstory and why they are who they are. And the main character, Cowboy Bebop, is a guy called Spike, and you got Faye. I mean, there's so much, just like a good. Think of it like your favorite crime movie, whether it's something like Heat or like Confidential, or it's something like even Dark Knight. I could tell you the basics of it, but there's something about watching it happen, the flow and the little intricacies that you experience that make it such a rich experience. And if this series you can't hit at least half it. You got to hit at least 85%. Just on like mood. If they can hit the cinematography, the fight scenes, and the soundtrack, if they can hit that trifecta and keep the story or make what's already been established a bit better, this is going to be a phenomenal series.
I mean, yeah, hopefully something more towards Umbrella Academy than Jupiter's Legacy, right?
I'd say more towards Altered Carbon, like in terms of world. Okay. World, not feel. World.
Fair enough. Maybe look. I'll give you the look part. Yeah, fine. Because
look. Yeah, it's got to look like Altered Carbon, not sure. The tone of Altered Carbon.
Just
the look
and the story, lack thereof. Agree as far as that kind of future, almost like Blade Runner ish.
Very much, very Blade Runner ish. Exactly.
Yeah. Hopefully, this is exactly. I'm not familiar with this. I've seen some of it, and it's very cool. And live action, this could be something great again. Done accordingly.
It has.
Let's be honest.
Put it this way: it could be like Avatar, the cartoon, not the James Cameron.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
If you watch Avatar, the cartoon, it's great. It's got millions of fans, but the movie was hot garbage because it took it just threw it the fuck out the window. That you have to marry yourself to the source material. If you marry yourself to it, you don't have to be 100% faithful.
No,
but if you marry yourself to it, you can have a great starting point.
You can make creative choices. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And
absolutely.
And they should. I think I like it when they do that. Still maintain the essence of the show, but they can branch out.
Right.
Whatever. But it's very cool. It's very exciting. You guys should be excited about that one. Another one here. Let's go to Marvel. There's an interesting little nugget that you point out to me. And that is Black Panther 2 apparently is going to introduce a new character into the MCU.
That's right.
And the one that you're familiar with, Riri Williams.
Riri Williams.
Of course, known as Ironheart. Am I right?
Ironheart.
Right. So I'm not too familiar with her, but she's kind of like an Iron Man-esque character.
Okay, so her pitch, first of all, the guy who created Riri Williams also created Miles Morales. So understand, it's a pedigree. Like, this guy knows how to establish characters. This guy wrote like over 140 issues of Ultimate Spider-Man. He recontextualized the Avengers to be to like a major team that it wasn't for God knows how many years. Like, he created the Civil War storyline. Well, no, that was Mark Millar. I apologize, but he created the Secret Invasion storyline. So that thing that's coming out, that's him. His name is Brian Michael Bendis. Super like prolific writer. Has tons of like bona fides under his belt. Like, he is a real deal. Great comic book writer. Not so great on DC right now, but his Batmans are fantastic. He's doing Justice League right now too. But his premise was that after Civil War II, which sucked, which he also writes, so you can't hit it out of the park.
You're not really
all the
saying
time.
this that well.
I just told you all the amazing things he did. I just said, but Civil War II is garbage. But yeah, everything else, I mean, his DC is a whole thing. I feel like he's trying too hard, but his Batman is solid, and I heard his Justice League is actually pretty good right now too. But the pitch he had is during Civil War II, Iron Man died. Okay, he died. So there was this girl called Riri Williams, and she's an MIT student, and she got her hands on like junked parts of an Iron Man suit that got destroyed during a battle. And with that tech, she reverse engineered her own Iron Man armor, almost like the Iron Man armor that he made inside the cave in Iron Man 1 when he was fighting the 10 rings and he escaped. Right, yeah. Imagine that, but with a little bit more resources because she's in MIT. And when Tony Stark finds out about it, he's like, wow, that's awesome. I should tutor you. I should take you under my wing. And she's like, yeah, you're dead. He goes, yeah, I know, but see this Iron Man suit? And he takes off the suit, and it's got a hologram of his head. He goes, I'm an AI. I downloaded my brain patterns because you never know when you're going to need a Tony Stark. And this is one of the situations. So I'm going to teach you how to be a me and just tutor you along the way. And she originally made her own Iron Man suit, but then she's like, I'm not really Iron Man. I feel like I want to do something more. And because she had a big heart and a big iron heart, and so she became her own character. And she's super solid. I mean, if you want a character who embodies like a well-written character, first off, and she's like a very positive, powered girl character, and she's very my daughter loves her character, so that's like a big uptick for me. So if you are someone who like, hey, my son has got Iron Man, but my daughter wants her own kind of version of it, and you want to have like a different slice of experience, like what Miles Morales does different to Peter Parker, Riri Williams does different to the Iron Man. And even more so because instead of coming from just a Hispanic African-American background, she's African-American and a woman. So she has a whole other set of experiences as she deals with villains and obstacles and that kind of thing. Really fun character. She has not done that well in comic books, but I feel like
in terms of sales or like
in terms of sales, yeah, it's been. But then again, Guardians of the Galaxy sucked in sales too until the movie came out, and then they became huge. So all you need is a movie to show people how cool a character is, and suddenly everyone's like, oh, that's how you do it. And then they go do it. So I'm actually really excited because her idea and her initial concept and her core character is really good. I like it a lot. So I'm hoping that the series kind of shows people what she can bring to the table.
Now,
but yeah,
interesting of Black Panther, you think they're going to go, she's maybe from Wakanda kind of route or no?
No,
No?
I hope not. I hope not. I
Oh,
think
you
it's the
don't
kind of
want
be
it?
the kind of thing. I don't want that at all. No, I like the fact that she's American. I think it'd be interesting to show that they go to MIT because they're trying to find. Maybe they've been doing a presentation on like the benefits of Wakandan tech,
Good call.
and she and while there she's like, oh, you did it like this. And I was like, how the fuck did you know we did it like this? And she goes, yeah, because I did it. And they're like, wow, she like that's how you would establish her.
Okay.
Like show her that she picks up and she blows it, like just by watching it and understanding the principles of like vibranium, she can figure out how the tech works. But she doesn't know exactly, and she probably is not getting all of it, but she kind of gets like a ballpark like 65% of it, where everyone else only understands 10. Like that's her level of like upkeep. So I hope that's what it is. And then she's gonna get her own series on Disney Plus,
Right.
and that's a great way to kind of like just softball her to the general public. So when they see her, like, oh, it's a chick from Black Panther too, and you get that whole
exactly.
idea.
But maybe they can. I can see them introducing her already as that in a quick small role, and then kind of giving us a story in the series, right? Like how she became.
Yeah, don't
that.
show her as Ironheart. There, it's just this is Riri Williams.
Right.
She's an MIT student, super smart, and she understands tech better than most people.
Gotcha.
And that's all you really need.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that's it. Listen, new characters is all welcome. It's Marvel, so let's give them the benefit of the doubt for the most part. And
I mean, in a sense, she is a legacy character because you have Iron Man, and she's a version of Iron Man.
This is a good way to kind of like transition away from.
Absolutely.
They can bring back Robert Downey if they wanted to in some fashion, multiverse, whatever. But this could be a good way to kind of transition into a version of Iron Man.
Absolutely. As a good placeholder, you have Rhodey's War Machine. You could have her, two good placeholder. She would fit in perfectly with the Iron Wars that they're going to be doing with Rhodey on that. So it makes sense to just establish her so he's got a backup, and almost like just like Tony taught Rhodey how to be a pilot in the iron armor. Rhodey can now teach her how to be a pilot as well, and so I think that'd be a fun dynamic. So I hope that's how kind of they play with it. Yeah,
that's good. Actually, that's a good point. I'm looking forward to a little bit more now. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Something big happened this week, and I think it ended today, and that is of course Cinemacon, right? And
Cinemacon.
For those who aren't familiar with Cinemacon, is some people thought they hear con, you're thinking Comic Con, San Diego or New York, whatever. There's 1,000 cons, but Cinemacon is not that kind of event. It's held by NATO, not that NATO. It's the National Association of Theater Owners. Clarification.
People are like, oh man, Afghanistan.
Oh my God, what is this? The United Nations? No, National Association of Theater Owners. So this is basically just for some press. Majority is going to be all owners throughout the country, right? They get wine and dine. It's in Vegas by all the big studios.
It's like E3 for movie theaters.
but it's not open to the public per se.
Right, like E3 used to be. E3 used to be just industry people. Right,
you can go, but I think they charge
Well, no, actually, they're shutting down. They're no longer taking public anymore. They're doing just industry.
Cinemacon, but they were offering. Cinemacon offering. I think it was $1,200 or something for a ticket. Okay, but it's really cool because here, unlike like Comic-Con and all that, when the studios go there and they show a lot of footage, a lot of the footage gets shown like right afterwards, right? Or even the next day, so it is not as exclusive as you would like. You go all the way to Comic-Con and all the cool shit you see, everyone will see the next day, right? I know it's better being there, of course, but still, Cinemacon, a lot of stuff they don't show. They just show only the people there, and that's it. Some exceptions with one we'll talk about in a second, which obviously arose from Cinemacon. But there's a lot of cool stuff. So I'm going to focus on some of the nerd stuff that we'd be interested in out of here. And the first, I think it was Sony came out guns blazing, right? We'll touch on one thing now and something else later. But they actually surprise screened, that must have been awesome, Ghostbusters Afterlife to everyone. Yeah, and then damn bastards. So they got first crack at it. And it's got a lot of positive vibe, man. Everyone's been saying it's more akin to what the spirit of the original Ghostbusters and all that, which is great. And that's a lot of fun. They couldn't say too much specifically, obviously.
Sure.
But there's a lot of positive buzz about that, so I'm even more excited now. And they have the confidence to show that film. It's for a reason,
of course. Yeah, they want to build the buzz. They want to build the confidence in the theaters. Like this will put asses in seats.
Exactly. So if that's the one they're showing the full, come guns blazing, right? So that was pretty interesting. Another one, and that's nerd. The big ones, obviously they did a Batman
Yeah, I heard that one's pretty solid.
It's pretty cool. They showed the exact same trailer to them, so nothing new there. But
I heard there was an extended trailer.
No, it's the same one, but they did show some like behind scissor reels behind the footage, and talking about it.
Okay, that's
happening. In the psyche of Batman, what Pattinson was going for, what him and are going for, things like that. You have a year 2 Batman, so it's not really a origin story, but he's finding his way, which we kind of owed and knew before anyway. Nothing new there. Sticking with Warner Bros. And this is an interesting one. Matrix 4, they announced the
I heard
title,
about that.
Resurrection. So
right.
They showed the trailer there, and I heard the trailer was very, very cool. It really was.
Cool.
And that trailer should be coming out soon, but it hasn't come out yet, right? So, this is interesting because, should anybody really be excited about Matrix 4?
Look, I'll say this. I showed, last month, I showed my kids the Matrix trilogy for the first time. Certain parts we cover their eyes, obviously, but they saw Matrix, and they loved the first one. They were like, obviously. This is awesome. Right. And I'm like, yes, you're right. And then we saw Matrix 2, and they're like, it's good, but it's a little long. Like we fast forward through the orgy rave in the cave. You need to see this right now, guys. You're still, your brains are still happy. And then we saw 3, and 3 scared my son, but still hooked him enough to see it. And he was bummed out that he thought originally that the robots won. And my sister's like, no, look, he fixed it, he made peace, but they liked it, and they were into it, and they felt sad. And my daughter's like, it's kind of like Endgame, but not so sad. And I'm like, yeah, because the good guys won. And she's like, I wish he kept his eyes. I go, I think so too. I think we all would have kept his eyes. But rewatching it 15 years later, this is the first time I've seen it in forever.
Okay.
I think I enjoyed it more.
Did you like now? The part 1's great. We all agreed, right?
Right.
But
sure.
Part 2 I actually liked more than most people. I'm not saying it's great. It's got some
I
issues,
actually liked,
but it's
2 and 3 more than I liked it before. Originally, I had a really. So granted, the CG in 2 does not hold up at all.
But
the CG in 3. But 3 is solid. 3 still holds up. I like, especially the big rain scene at the end when Agent Smith is spoiler, Agent Smith takes over the virtual Matrix, and I was like, this is really well done. I actually liked it more. I don't know, it's because I knew what to expect, or maybe I'm just more mature. But I was like, yeah, before, Matrix 1 was a 9 to me, and then Matrix 2 was a 6, and then Matrix 3 was a 7. Now I'm like, Matrix 1, still a 9. Matrix 2, I'm going 7.5. And I'm doing Matrix 3, it's almost an 8.
Wow, you're definitely in the minority, I think. But
it might be, but I think revisit.
No, I know, but let's taking you out of the equation. I think most people probably shouldn't be excited or are excited, right? Because the sequels didn't live up to the first one. We may have liked them more, but saying as a whole, right?
Absolutely,
they weren't as well received for whatever that's worth, right? Fair or not fair?
Because much like The Force Awakens, it made a promise that the sequels did not keep.
Right, exactly.
The idea of what we thought we were going to get, and what we got were two totally different things.
That's one of the most hyped times in a movie I've ever had early on.
Oh yeah,
I think not as much as Phantom Menace, but right there and Endgame right there. But at the time, oh my God, Matrix sequel is amazing. We're all like, oh my God, we get the trailer, and when the trailer dropped, everyone's fucking going nuts about it, goo gaga. But that being said, the sequels are what they are. It's been 10, I don't know, however 15 years, however long it's been. It's been a while.
Something like that. Yeah.
Directed one of the Wachowski.
Both of them. Both of them have transitioned. They were brothers.
Both of them. But only one's directing this one.
Only one is directing this one.
But that being said,
fuck it, I've made my money.
Right. Their track record after Matrix is not good.
It's real sketchy.
And then the Jupiter Ascending is awful.
Speed Racer is
terrible.
So bad.
Let's be clear. So again, as unexcited and as hesitant as I am, I almost can't wait to see it.
What?
I still can't wait to see it, right? It's weird. It's so weird.
Speaking of what if? What if it was the other sister that was dragging the other sister down?
You know what?
Get this dead weight off of me.
You may be right. This could be a whole new world. But listen, I know that the trailer's gonna drop, and I think we're gonna talk about that one. I'm sure. I think it's gonna get us excited. Unfortunately,
maybe this Wachowski identifies as a winner.
Maybe. I don't know. Let's find out. But that was interesting. So for what it's worth, the trailer did get some good buzz for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, good.
Another one,
That's
interesting one.
exciting.
I'm not sure if this is Universal or Warner Bros. But there's another one. Not an IP, but it's a superhero property. One starring Sylvester Stallone, who has done Marvel. He just did DC, of course, King Shark, and now he's doing it in the one on his own. It's called the Samaritan. I don't know if you heard about this or not.
Yes, the Samaritan.
Right.
Yes,
so this one, for those who don't know, I guess he's an aged superhero. He was in the past, and he disappeared for many years, and he's a sanitation worker. Cleaning up garbage, and that's what he does. And I guess something happens, and I guess he's forced back or something to that effect. So it kind of reminds me of Hancock, and I really hope it's not Hancock.
Hancock, once again, really good premise.
Great premise,
the idea is so much fun. It's just
right. But hopefully this is a little bit. But I heard it actually looked very cool, and the action scenes look actually pretty badass. Because someone described him as a bull. Because he's old, right? And they don't try to do anything like do these crazy maneuvers. I mean, let's be honest, he's 75 years old. And in the movie, he's portraying an older guy too. So, but what he does is very brutal, and he hammers people down. So.
Almost like Dark Knight Returns, when it's like just an older Batman who just pounds people. He's a tank at this point.
Exactly.
He's not Spider-Man. He's a tank. So that sounds.
It's cool. So that idea was, as a nerd, is like, oh, that sounds interesting. Because it was good to get like a an unknown IP, right?
That no one,
right, exactly, or just an original IP, basically based on superhero world. It's worked sometimes, it hasn't sometimes, but that sounded interesting. It really did. And that's what makes some Jurassic Park, but now whatever, who cares? It comes out later. I know it's not
unless it's crossing over with Fast and Furious.
Right. If I don't see Vin Diesel in there fucking up some T-Rex,
Family.
Give me Matrix instead, right? Let's be honest. And that says something. But it's a lot of cool stuff. So some things in there. These trailers are going to start dropping. It's not a nerd thing, but Top Gun trailer should be dropping soon. And I love me some Top Gun. So
really. Okay, cool. I hope you know how to ask for a refund back.
I love Top Gun
because
they actually showed the first 15 minutes, so that people were like, it's looking really good. And they showed Mission Impossible stuff. I heard that looked fantastic.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I heard that stunt. They did like a kind of behind the scenes with a major stunt. And dude, all I know from what I was hearing is like Tom Cruise, he had to practice like 13,000 motorbike maneuvers, him personally. 1,200 parachute jumps to prep for this, and they did so many, not because to get him ready, to get him ready, but because they're using these new kind of drone videos, and they had to analyze the weight, the distance, everything, so he would never hit the drone when they actually go to filming, and they could position the drone based on all these tests that they did. They did all these calculations behind it, how he would land, where. Fascinating stuff. I mean, it took it was planned a year ago. It was planned. They just planned a year ago
because. Tom Cruise is like super dedicated to like the stunt work and the whole franchise. Yeah. It's really impressive. I heard that the way he keeps himself so focused is right before they yell take, they have a little microphone so he's aware of like when they say take, and they go, "So Tom, are you gay?" And he's like, and he just runs away, and it's very intense.
It works,
gets away at all times.
It works.
So I'm glad it works.
It works, man. He's a badass. I mean, you gotta give credit where credit's due, right? But obviously the coup de grace, right? Let's talk about the main course, obviously, and it's funny because which leads right into our Spider-Man, No Way Home trailer. Finally, me and you were talking about this for weeks, months about.
Everyone's been talking
about it. When is it coming out? We finally got it, and it's funny because the day before, was a leak of the unfinished FX version of the trailer. So I think the only reason we got this trailer is because of that leak.
Someone pulled a Deadpool and leaked this and forced the studio's hand, and I'm cool with that.
Hey, better for us.
Fucking hero.
I feel bad for the guy who released it because his name is actually watermarked on the actual copy.
It's a copy of the FX studio that did it, and I actually know somebody who's a head of an FX studio that works for Marvel properties, and I didn't get to see the leak, so I was like, "Hey man, is this you?" He's like, "Nope, not me." I was like, "Woo!"
I'm sure someone got a stern talking to. If you will.
You mean fired?
Maybe,
and this all the
probably,
contracts
broken?
Yeah, probably. But you know what? Thank you for taking one for the team, because now I have to wait an extra 3 weeks.
Exactly. I think this is one where I think they would have gotten exclusively, and then probably we're seeing it. I would guess next week before Shang-Chi, but whatever, Shang-Chi. But that
did you notice how people pointed out online that the day that the trailer finally came out was the same day that Wanda and Vision had hearted on their calendar, which is August 23rd.
Yeah, but that's
so I there's a part of me is like, maybe it is all connected, and there's a part of me is like, someone totally got fired.
I mean, they got who leaked his song. It's like, oh, I'll do this. I hope it was worth it.
Hero.
But good for us. But yeah, so the trailer came out finally, right? So they obviously they didn't show us a lot, which is fine for a trailer. They showed us just enough to kind of whet the appetite, if you will. So I'll start with you, man. What do you think overall about what we saw here?
Dude, like so many feelings, and I've watched this trailer. I'm not proud to say it. I've seen it 18 times. Because I wanted to get everything I could to see every little moment of every little thing. Sure. Couple things I got to tell you right off the bat. I love the fact that it feels like the movie takes place. It doesn't feel like a movie that takes place in a week. It doesn't feel like a movie that takes place in a day. This is a movie that feels like it takes place in 6 months because you see scenes that pick up literally right after the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, and then there's like the fallout time period where people know who he is and he's just dealing with it and he's sick of it, and then he finally culminates to like having that light bulb moment. Is like, oh man, I should totally ask Doctor Strange. He could probably do this, and they go ask Doctor Strange, and from that point on, it is. I've had to explain. People have messaged me like, how does this connect to Loki? And I'm like, because when Sylvie kills He Who Remains and all the multiverses burst out, remember that point is out of time. So the same time that Strange is trying to cast that spell and shit goes sideways, it's not really Peter Parker. It's Peter Parker and the fact that the multiverse is ballooning out of control. It's the same reason why at that key moment at the last post-credit scene of WandaVision, Wanda hears her kids out of nowhere, even though she hadn't heard them for how long she had been there for. It's because that's the boom of the multiverse. It's the whole reason we're watching What If right now, is because it's the boom of the multiverse.
I really hate that you said that. Because
why?
Our predictions, I'll say, never come to fruition. Right? So I don't know if that's the case or not. I'm starting to doubt it that that's really going to happen here. Just saying.
Look, they already showed what happened. I'm telling you the reason behind the reason, because I know when we watch the trailer, you're like, it kind of bothers me that it's just Peter Parker talking, really distracted.
The whole idea is this, even if what you say is true, it's still lame as hell. It really is.
I disagree because
but I mean, listen. Will Doctor Strange really do a spell? It's just he's dumb. Peter Parker is a very smart kid. Shut up, Peter Parker. Shut up, Peter Parker.
I've seen Peter. Look, there's more. Look, first of all, that's not the whole scene.
It may not be, but we can only go by what's presented. And what's presented.
I know, but the initial idea. No, the initial idea is so Peter Parker talks himself into fucking up a situation. In comic books, it's called the Parker luck. Peter Parker, especially young Peter Parker, this kid is learning and he doesn't know what the fuck to do. He's a motor mouth. He second guesses himself. He always nervous and neurotic. He is literally getting the thing he wants. And he's like, oh, could you, maybe, I don't hit. And in the comic books, Peter has fucked up at least 7 of Doctor Strange's spells. Like, what are you doing? There's a whole comic book storyline called One Moment in Time, where Peter Doctor Strange was casting a spell, and Peter was like, let me go back in time to save Aunt May, and he fucks up that spell. So guess what happens? Peter doesn't go back in time to save Aunt May. Peter's spirit goes back in time and relives Aunt May getting shot and not being able to stop it. That's because he just interfered with a spell. So it is canon. Parker fucks up things and spells. That's just something he does.
And I know this. There might be more. Don't get me wrong. There might be more, right? But if there isn't, it's really, I think lame.
It's a little bit more elaborate. I think it needs to connect to
Loki. Because if it doesn't connect to Loki, I'm just saying worst case scenario. If it doesn't connect to Loki or WandaVision, what a waste of time this whole was. It really was. Completely.
But here's the other thing too. I remember I just watched Doctor Strange a few months ago with my kids because my son hadn't seen it, but my daughter did. She's like, "You should watch Doctor Strange," and we watched Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is super cocky in the first Doctor Strange.
Sure.
He gets humbled, but he starts off really cocky.
Sure.
So you got to remember. This movie happens after his ability to find the one timeline that was going to save everything worked out. So he's kind of got that big magician swagger going back for like, I got this. I saved the world. He was this. Look, we just saved the universe. You can call me by my first name. Like, he is rolling deep on his like, This is going to be like my old days when I used to operate people's brains. No problem. Bang, bang, bang. So he's coming in thinking he's got this. But because of Peter's yappity, and because the multiverse is breaking and he does not know about it, it becomes more that he can control. And it's his own hubris, because even Wong says, "Don't dispel," and he's like, "I got this. I'm borderline the Sorcerer Supreme at this point, guys. So I think I got this." So this is going to be sort of like,
you're so borderline supreme. You couldn't go save Wanda, but that's a different story. But go ahead.
Oh, listen, that no one is strong enough against COVID and rescheduling. Those are two very powerful things.
You say so.
Can't stop.
He's a sorcerer. If he can break to the multiverse, he can conquer COVID. That's what I'm saying. If he can make it, Peter's friends forget everything. You know, he don't need a mask. I believe
that Doctor Strange is vaxxed, but I think that Wong is like, no, I'll take my chance. But at the end of the day, I feel like this is going to be one of the things where it's like, oh man, I should have listened to Wong. I should have not been so extra confident. I should have listened to Peter Parker. Like, it's going to be a lot of like.
There needs to be something more there. That's all I'm trying. It needs to be more than what they gave us. And then they may very well be.
But I'm cool with the games only because it rings completely true to what Peter Parker would do, which is, the supervillains always say it's not that Peter Parker or Spider-Man is the strongest, is that he talks so much that it distracts you, and then that distraction makes a mistake, and then Spider-Man takes advantage of it. But just like he can do with all the villains, sometimes he does it with the heroes too, and he's almost his own worst enemy. So that's why. But besides that,
I mean, that's the only thing. That's my only minor gripe, but everything else is great.
Besides that, multiverse, and then we start getting hints, and the two most prominent hints is the pumpkin bomb, and you hear William Dafoe's cackle, which is super exciting, and you see Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, just like I got
that was cool, which we knew that was going to happen, obviously. Yeah.
But it was just great to see.
It kind of sucks that he himself spoiled it, but whatever. I wish he.
Yeah, I'm cool.
I'd rather imagine watching the trailer, not knowing he was even in it, and this happened.
Sure,
oh my God.
absolutely.
Mind blown, right?
But you know what? I bet you if he didn't say it, that would not have been a shot.
Oh no, they would have brought that up. They would have brought that up. Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think
they're going to put both Peter. Yes, I told you before. This is Sony's movie, right? Sony's going to control the marketing, not Marvel.
Sure.
Sony needs to make. They're the ones making the real money behind this film.
I think we would have just gotten a bunch of, like, just like how you got a tease of the pumpkin bomb, we probably just got a tease of the arm, and you wouldn't have seen the whole thing. I think because he opened his mouth, they just said just show it because he already opened his mouth.
I think they would have shown it anyway. I think that they would have shown it. But that being said, there's more. There's a scene where Peter is in a suit and he's looking like a dark alleyway or a dark room, and then he hears something. When he looks back, there's a thing that jumps at him. That's the lizard. Oh, I didn't. Yeah.
I know. I saw it 18 times. That's what I'm telling you. That's the lizard. And then there's a shot of like lightning coming down from the sky, and then a big piece of dirt comes up. Totally Electro, totally Sandman. There's rumors that it's going to be there's Mysterio might be in it. There's rumors that the Vulture might be in it. There's rumors that the Scorpion's going to be in it. There's rumors that the Rhino's going to be in it. Who knows? But just the fact that we got pretty much confirmed 5 out of the 6 of what the Sinister Six is.
Of course,
super exciting.
Lead into obviously Garfield and Maguire's coming into play here.
Exactly.
As much as they want to deny it, let's be real. They're in this fucking
movie. Totally going to be. They're going to be third act reinforcements, just like the end of Endgame. Yeah, they're not going to be there for the whole thing.
Not at all. 15, 20 minutes. I heard when I understood, because I heard it a long time ago, that it's going to be a third act. That's when we get introduced to them. They come in, save the day. It looks super fantastic, and then they're out, right? But I'm curious to see if they show them in a future trailer. I'm still if they want to sell tickets, they just show that. People want to go bananas. But I don't know. I'm 50-50. I know after the movie releases and it hits #1 for the first weekend, then they'll show it in the trailer for sure. More likely, yeah. I don't know if they're going to show it prior. I'm curious. I don't know either. Right, I can go either way. I see reasons for both, so I'm super curious because I kind of want to see it too. Don't get me wrong. But let's see. The only thing it was kind of funny when Doc Ock, came through, see the arm, and he's like, "Hey, Peter," or whatever. And and I think he was not dressed he was in a suit. Peter Parker. Right, a suit, and then the iron armor. Right, it comes on after the fact. Right after, I guess he sees him and get ready to fight. Right. How does he know that's Peter Parker? Okay, this is what I think. I feel like that scene is taken a little bit out of context. Okay. I feel like the arms come out, and that's when Peter puts the suit on, and then he comes out of the smoke, sees him, and goes, "Hello, Peter." Even though he doesn't know who that Peter looks like,
he knows Spider-Man. He knows Peter Parker.
He knows
Spider-Man,
exactly
so.
Spider because it's like
That's what I'm saying.
I hope so.
I feel like
it's kind of
when the
weird that
smoke
he would
starts
know.
coming out,
But,
he builds the suit on it, and by the time he comes out, he's already suited up. That's how I think it is. They just play it the other way so you can see it.
Right.
But
I hope
feel
so.
like that's how
otherwise,
it's
kind of weird. That's not a huge deal, but it's just kind of weird. How would he know he's
right.
He's not from this. It's not from that world anyway. So, in theory,
I will say, the thing that I feel a lot of people are underplaying is that we saw the Far From Home suit and we saw the Iron Spider suit, but there was a little snapshot like when Peter's running through like a cafeteria or a kitchen, and he's wearing the black and gold suit, which is like the new costume that's really gonna be featured for the movie. Marvel Hasbro just released the images for these toys that are gonna be associated to Far From Home, and you see the full black spider suit with the gold trim, so it doesn't look like Venom, but does, so I feel like they're getting both their worlds in that. But the cool thing is, a rumor that I heard is that black suit with the gold trim is a cross suit where it's built off of Stark tech and it's enhanced by Doctor Strange magic.
Okay, so it's best of both worlds.
And so, exactly. And I feel like the reason why is because that webbing is going to specifically hurt and capture the multiversal villains that he's going after. So, like, regular webbing is not holding him, it holds them, but not enough. But with this one, it'll contain them until he can get them back to Doctor Strange. So something to keep an eye on. I hope it's true, but something to keep out. Totally getting that figure, by the way. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it because, like I said, it's really fast. You don't really see him swinging in it. He's just running through a room, but freeze frame as I did and obsessed compulsively on all this shit, and you'll see like he's wearing that suit, and I hope we get more of that suit because it looks really cool. So
overall it looks great. It's gonna be good, and the next trailer is really gonna give us something. I think we're gonna get
absolutely
more, like always. Second trailer should, and the third one, of course,
probably
I won't watch the third one,
probably like around late October, early November.
It's gonna be. I'm thinking November. At this point, they don't sit on this for
because they say it comes out in December. They're gonna wait a little bit more now that they're not pressured because there's no more unless another trailer leaks. Well, then I hope so. But whatever.
I think November and then maybe beginning of December we'll get the third trailer. That's the one I won't watch. Right. But Bob point out.
I know you have a
two's enough. I'm
limit,
good. So. Even if I don't show up, I'll hear if they show Park and this guy. If I hear this show, I'll probably watch the trailer because I'm gonna hear it anyway. So now I gotta see what's up, but.
By the way, I heard a rumor that the William Dafoe Green Goblin is not going to look like original Green Goblin.
I heard that
more like the comic book.
Yeah, they're going to try to change it up, which would be better.
I'm excited about that. Usually, use the tech we have now to your benefit, or just show William Dafoe's face and scare children. Whichever one you want. It's perfectly fine.
It's a bit much, but yeah, I guess so.
That guy's a hard show.
I mean,
brilliant actor.
But yeah,
terrifying.
Oh God. That face with your mother could love, for Christ's sake. That being said,
only she's blind. Only she's blind.
So the nuggets. There's some good nuggets there, but we're not done.
Yes, sir.
Not done because obviously we still got our couple shows to talk about. And the first one, of course, as always, is What If Disney Plus, episode number 3, and this one was very cool.
Speaking of a horror show, this episode got a little dark.
Yeah, it did. It was interesting because it was good, dark, and had a lot of humor. Not all the humor worked in this episode, but yeah, it was a very cool episode. A lot of fun. This one, obviously, we're getting right before the Avengers were formed. Someone is going out there individually and taking everyone out. Iron Man dies, and Thor, and Black Widow, Hulk,
Hawkeye.
Right?
Here's the thing: the time period it happens is Iron Man 2. Right. Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton, which they seamlessly replaced with I forgot his name right now.
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo, and then Thor. So all those happened in the course of a week, leading to Captain America being found.
Yes.
And in the comic books, they actually show how all it's connected in a storyline called Fury's Big Week. That was they basically took that structure, that's that 6-issue miniseries, and made it into one episode, and then diverged at the obviously at key points. Crazy thing was the amount of actual actors that they brought in for this episode almost rivaled the amount of actors they brought in for episode 2. Like the fact that they got Michael Douglas to come back, I was like, holy shit! Like I was like, this guy sounds amazing. Like, oh, it is Michael Douglas. Holy crap! But like Samuel Jackson's in it, Greg Clark is in it. the dude who plays Crossbones in it, Mark Ruffalo is in it. Tom Hiddleston is it. Obviously, I mean, you have Loki on a Marvel thing. Tom Hiddleston's doing it. Let's just be honest. That's just Jamie Alexander was Sif. Like it was an all-star cast, which is great. Cool. Even if it's just like 3 lines, everyone on board, and it was crazy to see all the Avengers die. And I feel like some of the deaths were more gruesome than the others. Look at you, Hulk. Holy crap. That was cool, when Hulk blows up like a gamma zit, holy crap. Cool. I literally was like, okay, so is that like blood mist that's flowing out? Or like, what is that? Because they didn't do organs and they didn't do guts. So I was like, okay. So that mist was like, did everyone just get cancer? Because they were breathing in gamma radiation. Like the Hulk died. And so did 3 platoons.
And so Tyler.
It was.
Or her character.
But I mean, listen. She if you're not an elf, Tyler, get out of the project. I'm just saying right now. You're good at one thing. Stick to that thing. But one of the people I was surprised did not come back was Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. Yeah. Part of me thinks that maybe, just maybe she was on it, and then because of the lawsuit, they just took out her audio and brought someone else to do her double audio, because you're just dubbing audio.
It's pretty quick. I don't know if that it's kind of quick, but who knows? There's a lot of reasons why now, timing, busy schedules, whatever. But whatever, it is what it is.
I'm just trying to throw some shade. I'm trying to make stuff happen. I want to start some sort of internet rumor. I don't know. But overall, the series is really great, and I love the twist that it was Hank Pym. It was Hank. It makes perfect sense. It's all plausible. The idea of that losing his wife and his daughter to S.H.I.E.L.D. pushed him over the edge makes perfect sense. Yeah, I don't know exactly if he could have killed Hulk that way, but if anything could have done it, it's the particle that can make things go big, go small, and go back in time. If your particle can do those 3 things, you can kill Hulk.
The only death I questioned was Thor's. I didn't know.
No, because remember in Thor 1, he had all his powers taken away. He was essentially human, a very strong human.
Oh, because he was still like kicking ass, and I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it, but maybe you're right. I guess. Okay.
He is kicking ass, but he's had all his powers removed. He's essentially a mortal, a very strong mortal, because his muscles are built from war and everything like that. So it's all there. But he's in his 20s. But
I remember. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen this. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but he's mortal. That's why I was like, okay, of course he would die. Yeah, I will say. Funniest moment in it was the whole seeing Thor through Thor's death was hysterical. Just Greg Clark going as a 20-year-old Caucasian male, and he's got amazing hair. He's beautiful. He's really like, he goes, I stand by your assessment, sir. Like there's nothing wrong. Like everything I say, he is a beautiful man. And then Hawkeye is like, yeah, he's great. He's not lying about the hair. This guy's amazing. And then when they're going to his body, he's like, how does he rot and smell like more lavender? Like like all of that was fantastic. Good, and I love the end where Loki takes over planet Earth,
right? Yeah,
essentially doing his version of the speech that he told the Germans, and it's up to Nick Fury and Captain Marvel finding Captain America, getting that squad together. And what made me kind of excited about it is like, okay, let's say we stick to this world. Peter Quill still captured by the Ravagers, which means now you still have Guardians of the Galaxy somewhere out there. Wakanda still hidden, so Black Panther still there. Doctor Strange still hasn't got into his car accident, so he's still gonna still be there. And I almost want to see that world's Avengers, because it'd be kind of like funky, Rhodey just got the War Machine armor, so he's that as an option. So there's so many great people you can call to make a team out of. That you still got Wanda and Pietro that are still haven't been invented yet, but they're in that world. And so there's so many little things that I got really excited about. Like I would love to see that world's Avengers and see how that comes together. We're never gonna do it, but it was exciting. The possibilities of like what an Avengers rebellion against the world military controlled by Loki Asgard got me really excited about when What If 2 ended. I was like, oh man, it'd be really messed up if Quills became like the new Ego. And it was more concerning, but this one got me excited about what would this world look like and how would it still mirror the storylines that will go forward. There's still Winter Soldier out there. Like all those little things got me really interested about it. But alas, We'll never know. But it was a really fun
It was a fun
episode.
episode. It wasn't as good as the last one, but it was still very good. It was still better than the first one.
I'll tell you what, the fact that they took so much from the original Edward Norton Hulk and incorporated it into it actually impressed me more, just because I know of the legal logistics they had to do to get to that point. I was like, oh wow, they're doing this whole scene. Like, so as great as like the feeling of, I'll put it this way, episode 1 was a good episode. Episode 2 was joyful and optimistic, and episode 3 was like seeing a almost like a Twilight Zone version of the Marvel universe. So each one feels different, and I think it can be enjoyed equally, just on different takes. So to me, I feel all 3 were great. There's just different takes on it. Like I put all 3 on the same par, maybe 2 a little bit more, but I feel like 2 and 3 are like a tie for first place right now.
2 and 3 are far above the first one. For me, anyway. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Look at this. First one, straightforward, but why? Like I said, they just kind of give it like, this is what it would feel like if one thing changed, and now we're gonna get bigger and bigger. I heard the next episode is gonna be with Doctor Strange, known as Supreme Strange. And I heard that Supreme Strange might also appear in Multiverse of Madness along with Captain Carter. So keep an eye on some of these episodes, man. I think it's going to carry over to, I'm hearing rumblings, and it might carry over to some of the live action stuff, which is super exciting.
No, really cool. So I guess a good episode. So bring on 4. It's been really good. I think really well done thus far.
Yeah.
Now I wish I could say the same thing for the next show here.
Yeah.
Well, let me not start so pessimistic here, because every
party needs a pooper, and so we invited one.
We got Titans here, right? Which got off to a stellar start. I know last episode we didn't like. This one I didn't dislike. I'll put it that way. It was way better than the 4th episode. You know, I like the fact that we're getting a little more insight on Jason Todd and what happened with him and how he came to be the Red Hood, which is cool. I like that because it did what most shows do now. It didn't do what most shows do now, and that's kind of save that flashback episode for like the second to last episode and kill momentum. Right. So put it in the middle. That's what this kind of episode works, right? Where like, we can take a break. How did it happen? Great. His interaction with Batman. That was cool. It wasn't a very exciting episode per se.
I will say Titans, I feel, goes above and beyond to give you the crappiest version of Batman at all times. Forget oh man, can't believe what Batman did to Jason and Dick. I'm like, how is he still alive? Like, this guy has no commitment to anything. He's wishy-washy. He's over-obsessive. Then he's very passé about things. Like, I don't know
ever since he was not able to conquer Khaleesi, it just hasn't been the same for this guy. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
You should have let the Gray just take it. Batman should have just given up to the Gray, maybe even by a dragon. I don't know. But
I'm not going to argue that. It is what it is. But yeah, it's.
I mean, the kid who plays Jason Todd, Red Hood, Robin II, he gets a tour de force of every type of emotion. The only problem is, to me, he either comes off as whiny or inconsistent.
Agreed. Yes. 100%.
All the time. Yeah. I like Jason in the comics where he's like a dick, but he's like hyper-focused and capable. That's why he's a dick. Because he can be hyper-focused. And I know, like, oh, look, there's PTSD, and he's being manipulated. I'm like, you know what? Go screw yourself. I don't care. I don't want to have to make excuses to enjoy a show. Let me enjoy a show. Now, maybe if the show is dependent on, like, a whole supplemental series, I can go, okay, I can kind of understand because this is telling this version of the story, but this is the back end of it. I'll make exceptions to the rule. But there is no supplemental. This is its own world, and you're going to get shades of what you know, but it's going to be their own thing. They've done this in season 1. And it was annoying and almost like grueling. Like, you showed the Lazarus Pit and no Ra's al Ghul, but you're going to stick with the Scarecrow? Get the fuck out of here. Like, you're not even
very
trying.
Cool Lazarus Pit, but they're just throwing everything out that they can. Which I get. I mean, it's cool, but kind of annoying. I'm with you. It's like I said, ultimately, is it a bad episode? No. I don't think it's a bad episode.
It's not a bad episode.
It's not a great episode. Like I said,
it's a frustrating episode.
Yeah, it's got some really good stuff
and
some frustrating stuff.
Only because the first 3 episodes were so much fun.
Yes,
so well done that you want to talk about a Force Awakens or a Matrix. Those 3 episodes set us up for for an idea that this series at every turn is like, nope, sorry, not gonna happen.
I think they probably should have
with attitude.
Yeah, they should have shown this episode after the 3rd one, right? That would have been a good break, and then
Yes.
get back to the morning.
Absolutely.
That fourth one really kind of broke momentum. It really did.
That fourth one wouldn't have felt as bad if you would have taken the moment to do this. You're like, okay, so like, all right, so I guess you're readjusting to this lower level. But that fourth one is such a drop in quality that this one, even though it has its moments and it is striving for something, it does not reach it, and those shortcomings make it feel less than, only because how bad.
That's what I'm saying. They would have done this right after. Okay, cool. A little break. This guy died. Perfect. We'll get back to him in a second. We'll focus on Jason Todd. The backstory is important, and it makes sense. That part, worked. It worked. Okay, I like that. It's cool. Then hit us with another episode. But yeah, it is what it is. Again, not a bad episode. It just. I'm glad it wasn't placed in the end. Near the end.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you.
Right. For that, but they could have gone there early. But it's not like I'm not off the show. I mean, it's like this episode gave me hope that because now we're gonna get back to the story now. Well, we should anyway. I guess. I'm hoping.
I am watching the show. Before I was excited to watch the show, and then and now I'm watching the show with my arms crossed. I'm still watching the show.
It's hitting,
but I'm just
it's hitting not quite the level, but it's close to Bad Batch level. We're just watching it to watch it, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, Bad Batch didn't plateau or didn't drop as hard. Like
it didn't, but it never got as high as the first episode. It did.
Right? You're absolutely right. You're right, and I feel like this is kind of annoying because it drops so hard, and I see it trying to catch back up, but you're missing.
Maybe it is. It got better from episode 4, so that's a plus, right?
True.
If it just continues on that, okay, then we're fine again, right? He just needs one good episode to bring us back, right? One killer episode, and then boom, we're ready to rock. That's what I'm hoping for. Right. So. Again, not bad. It was okay. It was fine. It is what it is. And this show's always been inconsistent, though. Let's be honest.
I just want them to come back get me back to episode 1, 2, or 3. Because 1 wasn't blowing you out of the water.
No,
2 didn't blow. It was just good.
It's really good.
So,
right. And it built up to a great third episode, right? Episode 3 doesn't work without the first 2, right? That's good storytelling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you just went straight to episode 3, it would feel like you're trying to.
Right, exactly. Because it would have felt just jump in the shark. Okay,
exactly. Like, are you just killing people to kill people to make it shocking? Like, but because they built up on that tension and that progression of story where the stakes kept getting added, it made perfect sense.
Then I almost wish that the show started slow, and these episodes were how the season ended. Awesome! This is the end of those last episodes. Where episode 10, I don't know how long this season is going to be, but it's just from 10. It's 8, 9, and 10. Man, we would have been talking about the show like one of the best of the year. I mean, we would have.
Dude, I'd be like,
oh my God, I would have guaranteed.
Literally, the words would have been, I wasn't sure about the show. There were some points I was starting to give up, but those last 3, I can't wait for 4 now. It would have been like that.
Not how you start, ultimately, at the end of the day, right? I mean, let's be honest. If it can start, and end great, which Bad Batch could have done. It didn't do that.
It could have, our pitch for it would have been such a better...
So, or, again, this can get off to a great start, and hopefully, look, give us some good... If the middle sucks, fine. But if it ends well, given if it's only get 3 or 4 episodes, listen, we're back to okay, I'll take that.
I still like Daredevil season 2. The beginning's great, the end is great, the middle sucks. I still think it's a good
overall,
season.
Right. As long as it begins and ends well, you can live with the murky second act.
Yeah,
it's fine. The murky second act, it makes you forget about it when the ending is great.
Because sometimes you feel like the murky second act, they were saving the budget and what they wanted to do for these last 4 episodes. Yeah. So you can almost make excuses and go, okay, I guess it's like, this is how you make a show on a budget. So you got to play around with things. I get all that. It
depends how many, because the first 2 seasons were longer than we're used to as far as what we see in TV for the most part, right?
Right.
With Bad Batch notwithstanding. But it was, I think, 14 episodes or 16. It was long.
Something like that.
So I don't know. I'm going to look it up, and maybe we'll bring it up next week, because I think that may dictate what we may see. Because if it's 16 episodes, that will concern me a lot, right? It's a lot. If it's 10, okay, then I'll feel better about where we're going. 8
Yeah. But, and
sweet spot.
All I hope is that they stay focused and dedicated on what their objective is. I feel like they had a clear idea for the first 3, and now they're trying to do... they're trying to fill up episodes while telling a story, which is not the best way to tell a TV show, is to fill up episodes.
If I see 16 seasons, 16 episodes, and I'm that explains it. That explains it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's a huge problem. If I see 10, then I guess it gives me a little bit more like, okay, a little more hope. I'm trying to see. I can't find it though.
And maybe just some better DC villains, man. Like you have the Scarecrow, and he's not even in his fucking mask. He's a pothead. I'm like, it's driving me insane.
Well, that's kind of cool. I like the pothead part. Yeah,
you have the
I'm
Joker.
okay with
that. You have the Joker, and you never see him. And I'm like, give me fun villains. I have no fun villains. You're making Red Hood the big bad, and I get it, but. Damn it! Like, give me cool. You're in Gotham. This should be.
I found it by the way. Go ahead.
Okay, you're in Gotham City. There should be at least a B or C level villain that you beat up on the intern to keep things moving along. And there's none of that.
Who knows? I mean, again, let's see what up. Because this Red Hood thing can't keep up with 4, and I just found out it's 13 episodes because it runs through October 21st.
So that's shorter.
October 21st, the last episode with no breaks. So that's 13 weeks. Okay. Cool. 9 weeks with the first 3 coming out at one time. So. 13, that's kind of high.
It's less than 15. It's less than 16.
Don't know if they can sustain a Red Hood story that long, so that concerns me. But maybe you're right. Maybe they introduce someone else, and I don't know. Maybe
I'm pretty sure they're going to introduce someone else only because they're going to have to bring back Raven. They're going to have to bring back Rose. They're going to have to bring back.
A good point. I think maybe it's the Scarecrow.
They just Black Star is in the ether. She's
you're right.
So there's going to be some mini bosses along the way.
Maybe this storyline may end after 6-7 episodes. I mean, maybe or this guy gets betrayed. Jason Todd gets betrayed by Scarecrow, and he's got someone else. Who knows, right? I mean.
Or the Scarecrow, make the Scarecrow the bad man.
Or maybe, he could very well be. We don't. I mean, again, he's working towards it, right? That's his.
Get that mask.
We don't know what his plan ultimately is, right? He could be just using this kid, which he probably is.
Sure.
So there's time for that. So, but if it's just Jason Todd, if it's just Red Hood, that's gonna be a huge problem. I'm hoping that's not the case. I don't think it is. I really don't.
Because honestly, the Red Hood's impact. Most is Batman. You don't put Batman in the show, so you're crippling your culmination of the character arc in the first place.
Well, I mean, Nightwing's the replacement for Batman, I guess, in a sense.
But his reasoning for his catharsis for winning, like his reason, it's almost like I'm fixing Batman's problem. That's what it would be like. Instead of like this is the guy I failed. He doesn't have that. Batman has Jason is my failure.
And I hope they don't. Well, I don't want to say that, but I don't know if I want to see a redemption arc for him. I don't know. I think he's gone too far already.
Because he's killed Hawk.
Right.
That's the thing.
I don't want to see that. Too far. That's going to upset me if I see like.
In the comics, they've redeemed him because he never killed the hero blatantly. That's what I'm saying. But in this series, the minute he killed Hawk, I go, there's no redemption.
I don't want to see this turn around. I really don't.
The only way he can redeem himself is if he pulls a Vader where he redeems himself and dies at the same time. So
I was about to say that. Yeah, that's it's the only way.
That's the only way.
So I'm hoping they go that route and let's see. Listen. It's fine. We got 8 left, so whatever. I mean, hopefully, let's buck. Again, it shows inconsistency, so I'm used to it from the show.
On the plus side, we have see here it says 3. We have 5 more episodes of What If. Then we got Shang-Chi. And then we have the Eternals. And then no matter how bad Titans ends, if you just wait like an extra month and a half, we'll land on SpiderMan. So don't worry, nerdies, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. There's tons of stuff.
And I think Shang-Chi's in next.
Cowboy Bebop starts in November. Yeah. We're gonna have tons of stuff to carry
always
over.
Stuff in the pipeline. So it doesn't matter about that. We probably would do I know you probably watch Shang-Chi next weekend, so we'll probably do like a solo. Spoilerific Nerdsplaining.
No, I'll watch it. I'll watch it when it comes out. So we'll do it
that weekend. Whatever. We'll drop a show just specifically for Shang-Chi.
Absolutely.
And deep dive in that one. But yeah, so that's
especially because I've avoided all the spoilers because we were already spoiling about the post-credit scene, and I'm like, I'm not going to watch that. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's already I saw 3 channels who had post-credit scene spoilers. I'm like, I am not doing that. So because I want to talk about it because you specifically told me that first post-credit scene is we're going to riff on for sure. So I'm excited. I'm excited about that. That's why I'm like, I'm looking for I'll see it as soon as it comes out in theaters. And
we'll definitely do a show
absolutely
over next weekend. We'll do a show before, obviously, but
and now that it's out, I kind of hope they put that Spider-Man trailer in front because I would love to see it on the big screen. You want to get some extra asses in
it
seats?
Will be. It's going to be on there. There's no doubt.
I hope so. But that's a
easy.
If you want to double down on people going to watch Shang-Chi, let them know that the Spider-Man trailer will be there, and you
and on that note, and because I kind of mentioned to you before, and there's been a story about Venom, and it's contradicting. I don't know what's going on with Venom, right?
Yeah.
But
until there's an official announcement, I'm not going to freak out because
who knows? But I think, and I heard something about Eternals as well. That
really?
was on the low,
okay.
But everything hinges on Shang-Chi. Everything.
So get your ass out there. Watch
I'm
this movie so we can watch more
how
stuff.
I don't know if this is going to do. I have no clue. I don't know. Only because of COVID and other factors, right? If it wasn't, and it's take that away, but I don't. And this is a character nobody knows about, but it does have Marvel.
I'm hoping that Shang-Chi does at least Fast 9 numbers.
I think it needs to. If it does, I'm not saying disappointment because of the arrow in, but that may signal to other studios. Maybe let's wait. Maybe I don't know.
If it Fast 9 just hit 700 million globally, so if Shang-Chi can pull off globally at the end,
but there's no China.
575, 6, right? I think that it's going to be like it was.
The problem is there's no China. So to be fair,
no, I think China might pick it up still.
There's a chance.
China's not said no,
but it's not there yet,
right.
And it's only has a 45-day window, so that it shortens the time you can make that money. But they're going to look at the opening number. Forget the longevity of the movie. If it opens up at 40, 45, 50, which I'm guessing that's when it's going to hit, I don't know if that's good enough to get everybody excited, studio-wise, to say, oh, let's drop Venom, let's drop Eternal. I don't know.
I believe Black Widow did 60 million, right?
80.
Okay, so I think as long as it beats Widow, I think it's going to be enough.
I don't know if it is, because at least Black Widow was a known quantity, right?
Yes, but you're right. But I think just the idea of like a Marvel movie and with a Spider-Man trailer and the positive buzz.
When I seen the trailer, it's watch the trailer. It's going to highest.
But it's on the big screen. It's going to be. But people are going to want to watch. I've watched it 18 times, and I'm still.
Again,
what made me
the hardcores will go, but again, it goes back to the casual fan, right? Like, and I'll go back to people that I talk to. Like, they're not going to go watch it. They love Marvel, and they'll watch every single Marvel movie. They don't want to go see Shang-Chi. And ask him why. Oh, because I don't know who he is. It looks whatever, and that's I've seen the reaction a lot.
I mean, right? that's a realistic situation.
Exactly. So that the casual fans, if it's again, Black Widow is known. I know Black Widow. You've seen Black Widow for 10 movies,
same
and she was
too.
dead. And
Guardians of the Galaxy, no one knew Guardians of the Galaxy either.
Right, but that one didn't open. Did well, but didn't open as big as any of these other ones. But again, it's the power of Marvel, right? It might put but now we got COVID. I'm just saying that. People won't go because of COVID by itself, right? Let's be honest.
I feel like Shang-Chi is going to make a little bit more than Black Widow. It's not going to blow out of the water, but it's going to make a little bit more just because. I think so.
If it hits 65, 60, anything above 60, I think it's good, and I think studios will be like, okay, we're fine, right? If it goes below 60, I think studios may start pumping brakes.
Honestly, I think it's going to be probably like 63. Probably won't hit 65. I think like 63 million. It's going to make a little bit more. But that's
a good number for you. If you hit that,
I think once you factor in the global, and hopefully they get China as well, you're looking at close to probably like 575, 600 million global.
Even if China doesn't take it's fine. As far as as long as it opens up big first weekend, I think studios will be like, okay, we're good. And
I think the word of mouth because people watch this is really solid.
And I don't know how known this is, but it's only a 45-day window in the theaters. That's pretty small.
Right.
People are like, well, I'm gonna go watch it. Wait a month and a half and see it at home.
But whatever additional money they make afterwards, in home and streaming,
but people are going to go watch it at the theaters when they know in a month and a half they can watch it for free on Disney Plus. That's what I'm saying. That's a fact. It's a fact. I'm not saying it's.
It is, but
it's something. For example, with COVID, they're like, well, I'm gonna go outside. I can just watch it a month. I
don't know.
That's all.
I don't know if I've mentioned this in the show, but I have a 70-inch TV, and as cool as that TV is, I want to see a big screen Marvel movie, and so like that to me is like I'm vaccinated.
But even you,
I'll go with the mask.
Or like a couple weeks ago, or not thinking about not watching this. It just got really good reviews, so you want to watch it. But I'm saying, let's assume that we would have been. People were like, oh, it's good. You probably wouldn't have gone. Right.
If I didn't hear such good reviews, and even your review, which is like Is it the greatest Marvel movie? No. Is it a solid Marvel movie?
It's a very good Marvel movie. Absolutely good Marvel movie.
That, because I know what that means, and if people watch the show, they understand what our reviews are. So, like I may be more bombastic, but you be kind of falling more or less on the same pages about like if something is worth seeing or not. The fact that you said it is a solid is enough for me to go watch it, because I know we have very, very similar kind of reviews. So yeah,
very good. But again, it's one of those. Again, it's just, we'll see. Hopefully it does well. But I think that will dictate whether we see Venom in October.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so
if this makes like 30, if this makes Jungle Cruise money, right? I doubt it, but let's assume it does. You can forget about anything else. I don't see Eternals getting. I mean, I'd be shocked for Eternals, or they may do it same day Disney. I don't know.
They'll hold off, and then the only next big theater movie will get you SpiderMan. They'll keep SpiderMan, because that's money in the bank.
Yeah, that's guaranteed money. I mean, it may make as much because of COVID, but it's gonna do. That'll make more than Black Widow. That'll guarantee.
Yeah.
Easily.
Easy. It's gonna blow fast enough out of the water. Like it's gonna make money.
So, but yeah, Eternals, Venom, things like that may get pushed.
Might go straight to streaming or pushed.
No, not streaming. They'll get pushed. I don't think they'll go streaming. I mean,
you think so? Okay.
They're not going to put. No way. They're just too much investing. There's too much money. I think the only thing actually Disney is doing for Eternals the same day, like with the other movies. Saying they can make some money. People staying at home and pay $30, whatever. It's another revenue stream. So why not? But I'm curious. I mean, this next two tell a lot, because even if it wasn't for COVID, I don't know how good Eternals is gonna make money wise. I don't know. Again, it's not a known property. Right,
it's not a property, but it does have a lot of names. And that name could carry the hump. Right?
Who knows? I don't know. I'm so curious. So hopefully people go watch it. They should. It's very fun. It's a very good film. So absolutely. Sure. And again, we'll deep dive in the next couple weeks, whatever the case is, or next week.
Absolutely.
But either way, so that's where we're at, man. Those are your nuggets.
Guys, this has been the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we really appreciate you following us. Don't forget to check out all the shows and all the videos we have out on the Latin News Network. Jose does tons of reviews for sneak peek movies that have not come out yet to get the deep yay or nays to watching those. Tons of TV show reviews as well. And of course, don't forget to click and subscribe, because apparently that helps us, and me and Jose want to quit our day jobs. So the more people that click and subscribe and follow us, the more views we get. You get us one step closer to just doing this.
The more shows you get.
The more shows you get, and we have tons of ideas for shows. We have tons of things that we've heard that you guys want to watch. So, follow us, tell your friends to watch us. All of it helps us tremendously to get us closer to doing this all the time for you guys. And I really appreciate it. And guys, for everyone that came out to my show last Saturday at the Block, I appreciate it. It was a sold-out show. It was fantastic. Thank you so much. Don't forget, you can always get my album Adorably Offensive on all the digital streams, whether it's on Apple or on Amazon or on Spotify. You can get them all there. I really appreciate that. All the money that you use to buy my albums goes directly to toys and comics that my kids aren't allowed to touch. So I really appreciate that. It is a fantastic thing. And tune in next week as you get more new stuff. And guys, once again, thank you for tuning in to Nerdsplaining. My name's Eric. That's Jose. And if you don't know, now you know. Peace.